things don't happen because they're randomly happening. The universe isn't sitting around going, hey, let's do this to them today because, hey, for shits and giggles.
Exactly. And when she says the universe, we want to caution you not to be looking outside like the universe did that to me to teach me a lesson, or the universe did, or you fuck you, universe. Like, because that's, again, looking outside. The universe that we're talking about is just the reflection back of the energy that you have put out.
Exactly.
It's an extension of you.
Hey Soul Warriors, welcome to our podcast. This is Wolf and Tara, the founders of Soul Intentions. We are your seasoned guides to change making and out of the box thinking.
Do you find yourself doing all the right things, but nothing seems to be shifting? It feels like there's an invisible wall that you just can't seem to scale. This is when you get to choose, evolve or repeat. When we keep the promises we make to ourselves, cool shit happens. It's just that simple. One small shift, one small action equals a great life. Mundane living is not an option. You have all the tools. All you have to do is apply them.
If you want to tap into your inner soul warrior and not be held back by any excuses or old behaviors, you can count on us to call it as we see it, from gentle nudges to a kick in the ass if needed, all wrapped up with fierce love.
As we embark on this journey together, we will be deep diving into the art of clear communication, mindset, authenticity, and self-awareness, so that you can shine without the struggle.
Having spent years in service to others, we witness firsthand how hard it is for people to embrace their soul's intentions. Bringing ease to growth is knowing you are powerful, capable, and whole right now.
That is the magic we bring to our judgment-free online community. Now let's dive into the podcast and tap into our soul intentions.
Hey Soul Warriors, welcome to episode 6 of Soul Intentions Evolve or Repeat, your choice, our podcast. This week we are talking about Why Me? Answered. And Wolf is laughing because we have run up against this so many times in the last month.
Oh my God, too many times.
Like a brick wall. So often you'll get to a place where you're like, why me? Why is this happening? Why again is this going on? And you're just like, ugh, I'm so done.
The perpetual question as to why me. And it comes down to the choices that we make. I mean, things don't happen because they're randomly happening. The universe isn't sitting around going, hey, let's do this to them today because, hey, for shits and giggles.
Exactly. It all comes down to what your intention is. We'll give it a recent example just to kick it off so you can really know what we're talking about. We're getting older, a little older there.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit, young at heart.
Yeah.
But we're tired of doing all the things around the house ourselves as far as construction.
Yeah.
We live in a place that we haven't updated in a very long time, and it's time for a facelift. And we started like, we'll scrape our own popcorn ceilings, or we'll install our own brand new heaters.
Right.
All this stuff. And every time we tried to do something, it took longer than you thought it would. You run into issues. Your body starts to ache.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it felt like, it's like, oh my God, a huge reminder that I'm not 20-something anymore. Mm-hmm. That I can't spend the entire day painting, putting down a floor, or any of the things that I used to do back in the day when I was 20 years old.
Because we don't want to. We don't enjoy it. If we enjoyed it, that's a totally different place. Yeah. Like, then we would be like, yeah, let's paint the room. We don't enjoy it at all.
Not now. I mean, before I didn't mind getting dirty and doing things for myself, but I just can't anymore.
So we made a decision a while ago that we were getting in a halfway decent place financially, and we were going to hire people to do it. We were going to get a contractor and tell them exactly what we want, and it was just magically all going to happen, and we'd have this beautiful space.
And that's a whole interesting craziness, just trying to get a contractor, never mind doing the work. So that's a whole new podcast.
A whole new podcast. So a year and a half later, here we are still remodeling. But anyway, we hit a speed bump with something.
Yep.
And so we're like, okay, that's all right. We'll call another professional and they'll be able to fix it.
Right.
So we called and we researched online and we did all our due diligence things. And then it hit another speed bump and we're like, fine, we'll just do it ourselves.
That is just like going back on the initial decision that we made.
Yes.
Which wasn't very bright to do.
Not at all. Because it was the biggest
shit show.
Pain in the ass. Did not go well. We are actually right behind us is hundreds of dollars worth of boxes of different type of heaters that we have attempted to install. And we're only laughing about it now because it's so ridiculous. Actually, that giant pile of basically money that we don't know what to do with.
But we definitely trust that something will come up in which we can be able to, gain our money back, if anything, some of it, and find it a good home. But it was interesting because in the middle of all this is when we came up with this podcast because, it made us reflect on the fact that, we made a choice that we were going to hire somebody. Mm-hmm. We're going to let them do the work because we're not in a place where we wanted to do it anymore, And then so retracting back and saying, okay, well, then we're just going to put in the heater baseboards or anything like that. We kept running into so many snags that it was just like at one point it was like, oh my God.
We're doing it again. We step back into that low vibe old story that
Here's
we don't
the universe saying, hey, remember that decision you made that you weren't going to do it, that you were going to hire people? This is why you're running into problems.
Because we watched the YouTube, we talked to people, we knew what we were doing, we're resourceful women. Yeah. And then we're like, why can't we figure this out? We're good. And we're like, no, you're not good because you decided to step out of that vibration. Mm-hmm. And now you're fighting to go back into it and wondering why it's not working.
Right. Exactly.
So we called another professional who actually specializes in the type of heaters we have. And it's going to take 6 weeks to fix, but he has resources and he knows how to do it. And he said not to worry about it. And so now we just sit and wait and it's all going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. And the fun part of it all, to me at least, is that we're going to go from room to room and remodel to like all of a sudden every single room is going to be done. We're thinking by summer, when we thought that the summer was probably going to be like the catalyst to, we're going to get things moving even more. And by fall, winter, things would be finished. And it's actually going to be finished during the summertime, which is freaking awesome, because we made a point to release it, to give it to, to stick to the decisions that we made. We stepped back, like we always tell you guys to do. We stepped back, we assessed, we checked ourselves. And then we just like, okay, we need to go back to the initial decision and let the professionals do what we don't want to do anymore.
Exactly. But that's not that we were perfect in it. Because when we stepped back, the momentum started going. Because we put out clear intentions. We've wanted this done for a while. But again, we were going to do it room by room and make it manageable. All of a sudden, wild horses are like, okay, we're done this room except for the baseboards and the thing we can't finish because of the baseboards. So we're going to do the next room. So empty it. Okay, where are we going to empty that? Because the first room's not done. I don't know. Figure it out. Okay, so we'll shove everything in this other room. 1 week later, okay, that room's now we're going to go to the next room. But we can't finish that room either because there's heaters in there. So that room's not finished. So now empty the third room. Okay, now we're out of rooms. We do not live in a big place.
No.
So we're like, okay, what do we do? So we're like giving things away. We're selling things, which is good because another thing is after the house is done, we're going to clean out all of our things and get rid of what we don't use or need anymore. Right. Now we're having to do it in the middle of construction, in the middle of our other business growing, in the middle of adding a bunch of new employees to our other bit. Like we have so much going on. We went from COVID with no one into the house. Now we have new employees here training in our other business. 2 to 3 different contractors here every single day. There's like 10 people in the house, everybody attempting in 1,000 square feet to social distance with masks. Yeah. It's like...
Yeah, it's been interesting.
So be careful what you ask for.
Absolutely.
And especially right now, because COVID kind of like slowed a lot of things down, a lot of energy, so you could really be still and assess and figure out what you want and what was important to you if you took that opportunity for it.
Right.
And now it's like somebody like pulled the rubber band back during COVID real tight, and now we let it go. Yeah. So everything that if you're really clear on your intentions, they're like a shot, just hard lighting through really quick. Changes are rapid right now.
Oh, so quick. I mean, and it's been overwhelming, having so many, like you said, so many different people in our home, things being out of place. I mean, those of you that know me know that my shit needs to be in place all the time. Like my house needs to be in order and things need to be in their place, or it drives me crazy. And the fact that there's things just kind of piled up in different corners of this very small space so that one other room can get fixed or start the remodeling process is just crazy. But you find, I mean, I have had to find within myself the ability to be okay in this chaos. You know, I try to find that center where it's peaceful, where it's not so overwhelming for me. Not an easy task.
Again, it's really attributes to all the work that you've done on your stuff.
Yeah.
Like all your childhood crap where everything had to be in place or else there was horrible consequences. And now there's just piles everywhere and dust everywhere.
Oh my goodness. And my biggest thing is like we put down a new floor. So between the snow and all the dust from the
popcorn coming off the ceiling,
it's like all over the floor. So I'm like trying not to freak out that my new floor is all messed up.
Yep.
And you know, and at one point I'm like, I let it go.
But it cleans up beautifully, which is like, we picked the right floor.
It sure does. But I had to find it within myself to just let that go, you know, because it was literally like I was getting so anxious of watching the contractors track dust and snow and dirt into the house. You know, we got to the point where we got our new employees to bring their slippers, so that they don't track the outdoor dirt into the house. But that was kind of shot out the window with the contractors. So, I mean, it just comes down to, you know, when you make a decision to really, really stick to it, because it's just... The universe will literally will put the things in your face so incredibly hard, so that you can say, hey, you made this choice. You need to stick to it. Now let the other people do what they need to do. Exactly. You know, but I never in a million years imagined it would fast track this quickly from like room to room to like the house will be done by summer.
Exactly.
It's a mind blowing to me.
And when she says the universe, we want to caution you not to be looking outside like the universe did that to me to teach me a lesson, or the universe did, or you fuck you universe, like, because that's again looking outside. The universe that we're talking about is just the reflection back of the energy that you have put out.
Exactly.
It's an extension of you. Yeah. Because we constantly like, you know, if you believe in God, like, God, why I've prayed and I'm a good person, and I've done the I'm a good person thing before. I'm a good person. What? Oh my God. It seems so whiny and comical now when I think back on it. But so you're looking inside of yourself. If you're looking for those answers, the why me, ask yourself. You're the one that put out the vibe, and then you're the one that either did or didn't do what you said. Right. So the whole old do what you say and say what you do, that's the rule here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I hear people say that, you know, oh God, why me kind of thing. And you know, I like to be very respectful, first of all. And I don't mean to disrespect anyone who's religious or anything like that. But it's like every time I hear that, it's like the first thought that goes through my head, do you think God has nothing better to do? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And these things that are happening to you are based upon your own choices. Yeah. Not because some greater power, your God, is messing with you.
Exactly.
Because that's what that comment feels like to me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, you know,
and how quickly we turn blame to anything outside of ourselves.
Yes. It's you know, I had a conversation with my best friend yesterday, and we talked about responsibility and blaming other people and things like that. And I told her that, you know, that's just a shortcut to not wanting to deal with your shit. Yep. When you're blaming someone, that's just a shortcut because you don't want to check yourself. Exactly. And you don't like when somebody else checks it for you either.
No, you don't.
So, yeah. It's interesting.
And don't fight for your old story either, because, you know, we were like, well, we didn't build this place, so we didn't put in these crappy industrial heaters that came from the U.S. military that they don't make anymore and you can't buy replacements for. Yeah. So that wasn't our choice. And we didn't know that. We had no knowledge. We're not the builders. So then we can blame the builders. And our contractor, he said he was a great contractor and he's done this and that. And why doesn't he know how to do this? Now it's the contractor's fault.
Right.
It was just like, and then, I talked to that supply house and they said they knew exactly what they meant. We needed and sent us $400 more worth of heaters and they don't fit.
Right.
Now I'm blaming the customer service person at the supply house. Like, it's just.
I mean, you can see the cycle.
Yeah.
You know, you could start falling into it really quickly. And we get it because, you know, we do it ourselves sometimes. But the key here is to catch yourself.
Exactly.
You know, don't perpetuate it because you're just going to end up in that very place you don't want to be in.
Yep.
I want to give you a quick message before we get back to this episode. You can get free soul notes delivered directly to your inbox just by going to soulintentions.org/soul notes. Many of you have forgotten how to listen to your soul, and those of you that are tuned in have a bad habit of ignoring the soul's urgings. Or maybe you just need a little reassurance that your soul is truly talking to you. You can get soul notes directly in your email, filled with reminders, gentle nudges, and sometimes a kick in the ass, all with love from your soul. Just go to soulintentions.org/soul notes.
When we were sitting there on the floor next to piles of metal, wanting to, not sure if we want to scream or cry or just take a sledgehammer to the wall, and our hands are bleeding and our backs and knees are sore and bruised.
Yeah.
And then we finally we said we were going to hire people and here we are trying to do it.
Exactly.
We just hired general people and not someone who specialized in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we started laughing.
Yeah.
And then I got even more mad at myself because I'm like, I know this stuff. So that's another cut yourself some slack.
Yeah.
No one's going to be perfect because you don't know what life's going to throw at you. You don't know if you're you're hormonal that day, or
right.
you didn't sleep well the night before, so your awareness isn't as heightened maybe as it normally is, or we just have a lot going on right now.
Right.
And so I was just like, fine, I can't handle one more thing, so I'll just go do that and get that done, and then I don't have to think about it anymore.
Right.
No.
With the whole heater thing, when the initial contractor started to put them in and he said he couldn't do it, you know, after he left, I kind of took it upon myself to see what was going on. And it's like, boy, did my ego flare up like nobody's business. Like, he didn't do this right. Yep. I can do it better. Blah, 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 blah. Look, I am no professional.
No, not at all.
The fact that my ego thought that it knew what to do was stupid.
Based on a YouTube video, and originally the taking of a part of them was
was so ridiculous how high my ego went, and and I just ended up taking the whole thing apart because it wasn't doable.
Exactly.
Like he said, we needed to hire a heating guy for that.
And when we got the new ones out of the box, I looked at it, I eyeballed it, I'm like, these aren't going to fit either.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, they're the right kind. She spent a good hour, at least, maybe even longer, attempting to put them in.
Because I can do it.
She can do it, which means putting holes through the metal to attach them to the wall, which means they're not returnable now. Yeah. Side note, the guy that we found that actually can get us the heaters that we need and that will install them for us also said he might be able to find somebody to buy the 4 boxes over 6 feet high of heaters that we have sitting in the middle of all the other rest of our shit in the middle of our living room.
Again, and that only happened when we stepped back and got back into what we initially decided to do, and it's to let professionals do this stuff.
Exactly.
So,
and the contractor actually offered, if he just gets you the right heaters, I'll still put them in at my same price that I was already doing.
Right.
And we're like, oh. And then we're like, no. Let the guy who knows how to do it, do it. Like,
exactly.
It's not about saving a penny. It's not about no.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was quite the lesson this past couple of weeks, that, to make a choice and sticking to it is very, very important. Not only for your sanity.
Exactly.
But for your physical well-being too.
And the sanity of everyone around you.
Exactly. Because let me tell you, I had moments, people. I had moments where it's just like literally can feel my inner being screaming
What the hell are you doing?
And not trying to project it outward. You know, I kept saying to myself, what would I tell my client? You know, practicing all that to myself because, you know, it's what you have to do. We honestly practice what we preach every single day.
And just know that you and we will pick and choose the good advice that we think fits the situation to best serve our ego, not to serve what's going on. Because when we started with the heaters, the last set of heaters that we were both doing together, we were both like, well, just dig deep and get it done.
Right.
And don't give up. And like, those are all awesome things. And those all make sense. But in this situation, it did not. Those were things that advice from other things that we picked to justify that we wanted to just get it done and then show everyone that, yes, it's done. We can move on. We can finish a room now because of us, not because of the professionals that do it. When
clearly you can tell just by sight that things were not measuring up.
Yeah.
But we were determined.
We were going to figure it out. We'll take a knife and we'll cut it into a different shape.
Yep.
And okay, again, not returnable now.
Yep, exactly.
Wasting more money on something that doesn't fit.
So many lessons. So many lessons.
And we heard something this morning actually from Abraham Hicks that totally, right before we came on this podcast, where she said that your problem or your question, your why me, is never in the same vibe as the answer. So that's why half the time when we're like crying and praying and whining and mad, and those are all really low vibes, and your answer, we know, is always in the high vibe. Yeah. So you need to shift your vibration to find the answer. So that's why we said, why me answered. If you find yourself saying, why me, feel it out, get into those feelings, cry if you need to, yell if you need to, do whatever you need, because that has to get out. You don't want that stuck inside of you.
Yeah.
And then do something, whether it's, we always say this, go dance, go listen to music, go anything. Go take a nap, anything to just shift your energy and change the vibe, and then reapproach later. Doesn't mean then go pick up the drill and try to put the heaters in for the 20th time. Or watch 17 other YouTube videos and waste your time.
Absolutely not. Stick to your decisions.
Stick to your
choices.
Your original one, not the decision to put the heaters in.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're going to hire professionals.
Yep, and let it be what it needs to be. You know, and you get to see just how quickly things unfold. Like you said, Tara, that, you know, with this whole pandemic, things moved slow in the beginning, and now they're just like, once you make a choice, they amplify and they move quickly,
and that gets scary a lot of times.
It could be overwhelming. And so, you know, be mindful, be very, very mindful of what your choices are going to be, so that you can handle them as they come about, because it can be a bit much. I'm certainly, for myself, you know, it's been overwhelming, and I've had to dig deep.
Yeah, exactly. We decided about 3 months ago now that we were going to get into real estate investing.
Yeah.
And so we started, you know, researching a little, reading a little here and there. And at this point, our other business is like booming. One of our main longtime employees decided she's going to retire. This is like the week of Thanksgiving. We hire another brand new employee that's now going to come into our house. So we have to get everything COVID ready for the business, invite somebody new into the house. The same week, I decided to take a real estate investing class that was 4 hours every single night for 10 days.
Yep.
So I'm training somebody all day, doing 4 hours each night of this class, attempting somehow to make up all the work that I missed all day while I was doing this training and this class, and sleeping and running my life and getting contractors all set and remodeling, and we're doing our own demo, but that's fun to us. So that's why we can do that part.
That part we don't mind.
Except when it comes to the heaters. Yeah. But anyway, so, and then all of a sudden I get connected online with this investment guy, and now he has this whole other class, and I can get this special license and do this and that. So now I'm taking 10-hour classes every Saturday and Sunday for the entire month of January on top of what I was already doing. It's just like thing after thing after thing. And then the contractor we connect with a week later specializes in real estate investing and flip houses. And then the business grew more, the other business. And now I'm hiring a second employee, and she just started last week.
So you can see how everything just kind of snowballs.
Like, oh my God. Okay, everything that I've been saying I want to move towards, awesome. But it's all like, and I'm fitting it somehow, and I'm still smiling and happy, and I'm sleeping. But it's very weird. Not to say that I'm not stressed and overwhelmed, because I am.
Yeah.
which is like, okay, I need extra self-care during all this. So trying to build that in, building that in as much as possible. So it's just like being aware and not trying to set boundaries for yourself and knowing when you need to back off a little, but not saying no to when the things you've been asking for start coming into play.
Yeah. Because they will come.
They will come. And make sure you're not doing I need my house remodeled, my business to grow, my real estate investing. I want to move to another country. I want this, I want that, all at once, because all of a sudden it will all be on your plate.
Yes.
And if you are not in a super solid place to be able to handle that, you're going to crash and burn.
Mm-hmm. Definitely going to crash and burn. It's been oddly exciting.
Yeah.
Stressful, overwhelming.
But exciting at the same time.
Definitely oddly exciting. And like you said, we managed to do a lot of this stuff. I don't know. It's just interesting. And I personally have had a great deal of fun watching the dynamics of the different people that are in our home.
Oh, geez.
First of all, when people come into our home, not to toot our own horn, but we have built quite a peaceful environment that when you walk in through the door in our home, it's like, you feel like, I could leave the shit that's bothering me outside of the door and come into the space and be okay. And we've watched these people who are, complete muggles. You can tell that they're complete muggles. Come in and just like totally like find themselves telling us their life story, or sharing in ways that they're like, oh my God, I don't know why I just told you that. Or they respect it, can feel the peace. They go an extra step to respect that.
Yeah.
So it's been cool to watch it.
And tapping into parts of themselves that not the non-mugglish parts, actually tapping into like some deeper energy vibes and spiritual stuff and watching that unfold. Not for all of them, but for some of them.
And to watch these very manly men be all up in their feelings is like, whoa, it's like, okay, this is cool, to watch some of this stuff. So on top of all the madness that's going on, we get to experience some real awesome human behavior and play witness to it, really.
Yeah.
Because
and
that's
these are
all
all brilliant people. Yeah. Like our new employees are like the most intelligent, have so much integrity in what they do and wanting to do it well. Like it's just, they're beautiful people.
Yeah, they absolutely
and the
are.
Contractors like truly take great pride in what they do and love what they do. And so that's
the key thing, that they love what they do. And these our new employees are in a space in their life where they're like, oh my God, this is just what I needed. And they're loving that as well. So when you're loving something, again, making different choices, because all these people have made some really significant choices in their
lives, definitely.
Specifically our new employees that have led them here.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my God, I've made this choice that's leading me to this place that it's unknown to me at the same time, but I think I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
So it's been cool to play witness to a lot of that.
Yeah, watching their courage.
Yeah.
Because I've asked both of them, why did you pick us? When they had all these other opportunities and, at bigger places, bigger companies, different career choices, why us? And they both said some version of, it just felt right. I just knew.
Yeah.
I felt blessed to even connect with you about the opportunity. And I just knew I had to take a chance.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the vibration that we like to put about all the time, in who we are as people and who we are as a company, who we are as, just the energy that's out there. The energy that we put out for us needs to be a peaceful, positive energy so that when you start off your life or your changes in life, like for us particularly, it's easy enough, and just being aware of, like you said, what the heck we asked for, because it will come in ways that are so incredibly quickly right now that, you need to pace yourself. You really, really need to pace yourself.
And know that the answer that you're looking for when you do the like both these women were in jobs that were not serving them at all whatsoever, not treating them, not valuing them. And so they were, like one of them was like, why me? I'm better than this. And then the answer to jump to something with us was uncomfortable, but she did it anyway. Mm-hmm. And the other one was just like, yeah, this person doesn't value me that I'm currently working with, and it's a bad situation. But I can tough it out because I'm good and I can make this work anyway. And she did for a long time. And then she's realizing now that It taught her how to set boundaries. It taught her how to have a tougher skin, how not to take things personally, like all these valuable lessons that were now gleaned from these other places that didn't serve them anymore, and then popped them in a place where they feel seen and heard and valued and happy.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel super honored that we get to witness that. And they landed what I feel is in a good place in their life. And I'm looking to see all the good things that will come from that, from those choices that they made. So yeah, I mean, it's been interesting. And so I think we wanted to share that in this podcast about choices and decisions and not playing the why me song anymore.
So it's all about alignment, folks. You got to align with where the answers are, not with the why me area. So when you make a choice, which is your intention, you need to remain aware of like how you're feeling, what your thoughts are, what your actions are. Are they supporting that, or are they starting to feel like crap? Are you going in a positive direction where you're feeling happier or not? Yeah. So that you can have that as your guide. And then align back with your choice. If you can't seem to get back with your choice right away, align with any other feeling that feels good, because that's the path back to your choice.
Right, exactly.
Or if your choice isn't valid anymore, like our wanting to hire somebody is totally still valid. If you had made a choice that you wanted to go be I don't know where this came from, but be a dentist, and you started taking classes and you're like, I can't stand having my hands in somebody's mouth all day. Like, I don't like this. Right. Do not continue to try to be a dentist. Yeah. Like, that's okay to realign that choice because you realized you didn't like it and it's not lighting you up like you thought it would.
Exactly.
So find out what it was. Was it just like working with people? Maybe going to be, a doctor, or what's similar to that where you might maybe just like miss the mark a little bit, or you hit the mark on certain attributes of a dentist. And find out what your new target, your new choice is, and then walk towards that. So choices aren't concrete, but they're good guideposts to come back to.
Yeah. I mean, I think you said this when we were talking. You said that, we need to stop compromising our vibration.
Exactly.
So whenever you feel like you're compromising your vibration, come back to center.
And stop being okay only if your expectations are met. Because we were okay until our contractor hit a problem, and then we spun off into left field.
Yeah. And that's a great awareness to have.
Totally great awareness.
Yeah.
So honor your intentions, honor where you're at.
Yeah.
Keep going. And why me is an okay place to be. Don't camp out there.
No.
Change the vibe so you can find that answer. Yes. And if you need help, you reach out to us, and we can totally support you in shifting that vibe until that answer just becomes aware. Comes into your awareness, I guess is the best way to put it. Yeah. Till that answer comes into your awareness.
Awesome.
All right.
We'll leave you with that.
Fantastic day, Soul Warriors.
Peace out.